everyone. I'm Rachel here with Ari, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. This week, we're on episode 222, and we're asking, where can you keep track of your reading progress? Before we dive into the topic, we just wanted to reiterate, in case you've missed it from the last couple of weeks, we are moving off of Patreon and over to Ko-fi. Both of us prefer Ko-fi over Patreon, and we just think it'll be a better platform for us and for the podcast and for you guys. We're working on adding new content and building it up to similar to how our Patreon was. So be sure to go check it out and support the podcast if you're able over on there. We have plenty of free stuff. So, go check it out. Anyway, let's talk about reading. If you're an avid reader and or book reviewer, chances are you keep track of your books. Your shelves are organized neatly. You know how many books you've read within the past year and possibly even know how many pages you've read. But how exactly do you keep track of all that? There are many, many ways. But first, I want to talk about some different ways that you can keep track of your reading online. And obviously, you could do so on Amazon. If you review books on Amazon, you can clearly see the list. Goodreads is one that everybody knows. That's kind of a given. And Goodreads has like their reading challenge every year. So you can pledge to read a certain amount of books each year, and it'll keep track of the books you read and its pages and all of that stuff. To be brutally honest, I'm not really on Goodreads all that much anymore. I've moved over to Storygraph, which is similar to Goodreads, but it's not owned by Amazon. And I like the stats better. It shows you all the different genres that you've read and the percentage of, I don't really know how to explain it, but it'll show you the percentage of like where you are reading wise with the age range and the genres and things like that. And they also do have varying challenges, and they have a good community. You can kind of go out of your comfort zone with different genres and meet new people. They have buddy reads on there and all of that stuff. And it's kind of like Goodreads, but better. It's not that big yet, but it's growing and it's a great platform. So do highly recommend checking out Storygraph if you haven't heard of it already. I'll also mention Instagram. I think everybody, that's kind of a given. I've seen many bookstagrammers post little templates on their stories of the books that they read within the past month or within the past year and stuff. So that's also a fun way to keep track of your reading progress. But finally, one other fun website that I've recently discovered is Fantastic Fiction. I actually heard about this when I found a small bookstore in my town, and it's run by the sweetest lady. It's just her, and she kind of runs that bookstore as a hobby. And she was telling me about fantasticfiction.com, and you can just go on there and type in an author's name, and it'll list all of their books in chronological order, by series, by publication date. It's an amazing website. I don't have an account on there, but if you do make an account, you can follow favorite authors, and you can keep a list of books that you've read and books that you want to read. So it also sounds like something that's similar to Goodreads and Storygraph, but I feel like the search is a little more narrow than broad. But it's a really great website, especially if you're looking for a specific book or you found a series, but you don't know what the first book in the series is. Just type in the author's name and it's all listed for you right there. And it's wonderful. I love it.
I have to say, while you were talking, I just went on to Fantastic Fiction and I went into the fantasy section and I found like about 20 million books I just want to add to my TBR pile. So it's like, that's not good. That's not what I need right now.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It looks good.
So
it looks
good.
good. I have to say, I do use Goodreads because I'm lazy and I haven't been bothered to move to somewhere else. I hate Goodreads. I hate the layout of Goodreads. I hate the messiness. I hate that it's owned by Amazon. I hate that if you reread a book, because you can now mark, if you reread a book, you can now mark it as being read again. It wipes out your original review. And since I am a rereader, yeah, I can't always go and list a book I've reread as part of my challenge, because the last few times it's just wiped out my review. As if I'm going to leave a different review. It's like, no, still happy with the review. I am just rereading it because I am a rereader.
That's
So that was
so
annoying.
dumb. It should give you the option, like when you add the reread dates, it should show your review and say, would you like to edit this?
Exactly. Yeah, update it or not. But no, it just
Yeah.
wiped out my whole review. And it was like, after I did that like 3 times, I was like, okay, and it were good long reviews as well. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
That's
So
dumb.
it is dumb. See, this is why I don't like Goodreads. It's dumb.
But this is why I moved over to Storygraph, because Goodreads has just gone down the drain over the past couple of years.
It really has. It's just one of those things you just kind of, as I said, I can be quite lazy at times, and I just got stuck on it, and I haven't really thought about going anywhere else. I do have on Instagram, I think it was last year, I did make a little template for my stories where I added all the books I read for the year. I don't think I do it more than a year because I think I'd get bored. Again, my brain gets bored really easily. So I wouldn't do it once a month. I would definitely be like, here's the books I read in a year. But again, I have to remember which books I read, and then I have to go in and find the graphics and everything. So again, if I get lazy about it, I just don't do it either. So I'm not very good at tracking. And that's even with digital, which is so much easier. So I'm gonna move on to handwritten, which I also don't do very often. But for all you people out there who really like tracking your reading, and you're not into the digital, you want to go analog, let's talk stickers. Because let's be honest, who doesn't love stickers? Don't leave a comment. I don't care if you don't like stickers. But you can get some brilliant stickers. You can get ones that have a little book. You can have ones that look like a little shelf, and then you write the book title on each of the book spine and you color it in. It's really sad. I recently got given a set of free stickers, and they were like little like stars. So you could do the 5 stars, you color them in how many stars, so you can stick them on something. So what I would normally have done in the past when I was doing it, because again, I start things and then I get bored and stop, but I would have written which book I'd read in my diary and then put the star number next to it, and then I can flick back through my diary and see all the different books I read. So stickers, yeah, if you're a big lover of stickers, there are so many sticker shops on places like Etsy, and you can get some really, really cool ones. And you can also get book tracking journals to put your stickers in. But there are some really specific ones that actually list out like the author, the title, the star review, the star rating you've given it, the date you started, the date you ended. I mean, again, some of that is a bit too much for me. I like the name and the author. I will sometimes put down the rating. I don't care when I started and stopped it. I really don't. It's like some people on Goodreads, and I am not casting shade on anyone. The people who want to list, like, I'm on page 48. Who has got time to go in and state what page number they're on? Because surely within a few minutes, you're going to be on another page number, unless you're literally stopping, logging into Goodreads to type out, I got up to page number 38, and then coming out again. And to these people, who has the time? Seriously, there's lazy and there's too busy, is what I'm saying. But yeah, so for those people who actually like to make lots and lots of reviews and progress reports, book tracking journals are really good, and some of them have really pretty covers as well. Or you could just put stickers on. I don't.
I mean, stickers are life. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. You should have stickers for absolutely everything, and you should also color code all of your things, because that's a given. I like the book tracking journals. You could also have like bullet journals and just create your own in that sense. Like if you go on Pinterest and you type in like reading progress bullet journal, you'll get so many different layouts. I tried that once. I am not artistic in that sense, so my layouts looked like shit compared to what I was seeing on Pinterest, and no, I got sad about it, so I didn't stick with it. Don't let that happen to you. If you're artistically challenged like I am, just do you. Don't let that stop you. But something else you could do to keep track of your reading progress, if you want to get like extra crafty and creative, you could also do scrapbooking. And there are other DIY projects like mini bookshelves. I've seen those on like TikTok and like Instagram Reels. People will create little miniature paper books, and they will write the title and they'll have the book cover, they'll print it out or something. And they have like this little teeny tiny bookshelf, and they'll put the books, the mini books, on the shelf. And it's actually really cute. It's like a little fairy garden, but just for you. I think it's adorable. I don't have the time or, again, the artistic skills to do that, but it's a cute idea.
Yeah, I do like those like miniature builds. I do. I don't think I'd want to go to the point of creating it all myself. I'd rather get a kit and build it together. Because again, who has the freaking time to do all this? To sit there printing out tiny book covers and cutting them and putting them around stacks of paper and then putting them on a tiny bookshelf. I don't even tidy my natural bookshelf, my real full of books bookshelf. So I just want to go back to bullet journals. Firstly, just in case you're unaware, if you want slightly artistic looking bullet journals, says the person who doesn't do bullet journals, you can get stencils. When I found that out, I realized there was a lot of cheating going on. So some of these like beautiful layers and like the banners and things, stencils. People were buying posh looking stencils. And it's like,
I have the stencils.
and you still couldn't make it look nice?
No, because it would like bleed. The ink would, I don't know if I didn't have the right markers or what. Like I
No.
bought bullet journal markers, but it would like bleed, or I would just like move, I would slightly move the stencil and then it would be crooked. I couldn't do it.
All right,
so
then. I will take that back because apparently it doesn't work.
But no, you are right. There are plenty of stencils and they have like specific bullet journal markers so that they won't bleed through the pages and things like that. But yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, not only is it a time commitment, but it's a money commitment too. Like, if you're going to get a bullet journal, you have to like buy all the little accessories and stuff like that.
I got the book about bullet journaling because I thought it sounded quite cool. And then I started watching videos about it. And then I thought it was less cool. And again, I don't know what's cool or not because I'm using the word cool. So obviously I don't. Showing my age. But just the concept of like watching someone create a 12-month calendar manually when you could just buy a 12-month calendar or print one on your computer. I couldn't get my head around the fact that some people would spend hours building their bullet journal and every week adding a weekly spreadsheet and then making how many glasses of water I did a day. And it's like, again, I can't even be bothered to count the glasses of water I have. Never mind count them and then scribble it in a little book about how many glasses of water I drank. I just can't. But if that's your thing, then have at it. Track your books, track your water, track your steps, track your bowel movements. I don't care. Whatever you need to do, just do it. Getting a little bit, curmudgeon-y in my old age.
It's true though. It's true. I just started journaling again fairly recently. And even then I'm like, do I have time for this? And then I make the time because I got to do it for my damn mental health. But it's true. We're not saying it's a bad thing. Absolutely do it, because if you enjoy it and it's fun and it's fulfilling to you, then absolutely do it. I would love to do it, but then I get in this mindset that I'm like, oh, I should be doing something more productive. But if you want something that's short and sweet, I just thought of something else to track your reading progress. Just make a list, especially if you're going through your TBR pile. Write down all of the books that you have on your bookshelf or your Kindle or, whatever, and just create a checklist out of it so that when you read a book, you just check it off and be done with it. And that's satisfying in and of itself. I love checklists. That's my kind of artistic, reading progress. And book bingo. Have you ever done book bingo?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, I've found a couple of different like book bingos online, and I've done that before. And then, when I read a book, instead of like crossing like what's the word? Like filling in the square or crossing it out or something, I just add the book title and author. So then at the end of the bingo, I can see the full board covered, So that's fun too.
I like the fact you said checklist and you didn't say spreadsheet. We could totally, because you could make a spreadsheet with a checklist and put the date next to it when you finished it, so you know which month you finished it on or which year. And obviously there's like thousands and thousands of cells, so you could just keep that going. You don't have to have it digital. You don't have to print anything out. You don't have to use stickers. You don't have to make stencils. You could just stick it on a spreadsheet. Obviously, by the way, this episode is for people who like to track things. Nobody's saying you have to track anything. Just say it.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. But yes, spreadsheet. Yes. My sister found a thing. You know how like people in like offices, they have like a name plate on their desk? My sister found one and it said, "Don't worry, I have a spreadsheet for that," or "Keep calm, I have a spreadsheet for that." I'm like, I need that. I work from home. Nobody would see it, but I would see it. And I absolutely need that. Ari knows I have a spreadsheet for literally everything. Why haven't I thought to do a reading tracker for that? Because I stopped reading, actually. I haven't read a book I'm in as we record this, I am in a hardcore reading slump. I haven't read in a few months. Yeah.
That's sad. That is sad.
Yeah. I was reading, like, I read a lot last year, but I was rereading the Warrior series. That's all I read. So I haven't read any other book in like over a year.
Wow.
No, it's pretty bad. Here I am. I'm a writer. Yay.
You have those moments though, especially nowadays with so many books coming out and everything's a blooming series, and it's like you feel like you're constantly being chased to read more. I mean, we're in a writing community. We have writing friends. It's hard because everyone's bringing out books, multiple books, and you want to be a good supporter and you want to read them, but there's only so many books I can afford to buy, and there's only so many books I can read without committing to a 20-book series. So,
and I'm tired.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, reading makes me sleepy. So if I start reading, I gotta do it before bed, and sometimes I can only get through a chapter or so, and then I'm done. It's just, and a lot of times I am a morning person, so a lot of times before bed I'm too exhausted to have the mental stimulation of a book and like focusing on the words. So I don't even know what I read half the time. So I'm in this vicious cycle. It's pretty bad. But anyway, yeah, there are some fun ways to keep track of your reading progress. There are many websites online that you can use, or create your own checklist in Google Sheets or Excel, whatever you use, because that's fun too. Color code it, use stickers, get a bullet journal and create your own tracker, whether it's messy or not, regardless of your, artistic skills. Or you can get extra fancy and create those mini bookshelves and do other DIY projects. It's really up to you. Or as Ari mentioned, you don't have to track your reading progress at all. You can just say, screw it. Ari and Rachel, I'm not listening to you, which you should probably do for every episode. As you can tell, Ari and I, we're in rare form. Oh, so I'm just going to end the episode and turn it over to you guys, because I'm sure your answers are going to be a lot more coherent than ours. Do you track your reading progress? And if you do, how? Let us know your answers in the comments and we'll chat about it. And please remember, we do release a new episode every Wednesday. Next week, we're discussing anxiety in writing with a special guest. So to ensure you don't miss it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. And as always, thank you for listening to the Merry Writer Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. This podcast is brought to you by Scribbled Notes. Our handwriting is awful. The music, titled Inspired, is by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons 4.0.